Counting down. Okay, and we are now live.
Okay, welcome everyone on panel and to those joining us throughout Ontario for our January ONED student chat. And in the spirit of this time of year, we're interested in your thoughts on New Year's education resolutions. Just a reminder, ONED student chat is a student-led Twitter chat that connects K-12 students across Ontario to discuss topics and questions related to character education, social justice, and citizenship. ONED student chat creates opportunities for students to network with others, gain perspective, build relationships with new learning partners in a literacy-rich learning environment. Experience social media as a powerful platform for learning and establish a positive digital footprint. Thank you for everyone for joining us. So we're going to talk to one of our sort of veteran panel members, Sam, and he's going to tell us a little bit about how to get involved on the tech side. Sam, take it away.
All right, so if you're watching us in YouTube, which is an option if you just tap the YouTube icon on our website, you will notice that there's a comment space to your right. This is a great way to show and share your own thoughts and ideas to add your thinking and get involved in the conversation. Or you can also watch the video from the website and chat with us and other participants on Twitter. So if you want to chat with us on Twitter, you follow hashtag ONEDStudentChat to read ideas, thoughts, and questions shared by others. Also use the hashtag to add your own thinking and get involved with the conversation. If you ask questions, we will bring them to the panel. Please remember that the audience for this chat is K-12, so please keep your comments and questions appropriate for all ages.
Thank you very much, Sam. So everybody at home, I want to introduce our awesome panelists. We're just going to go down the line and everybody's going to say hi and tell you a little bit about who they are. So let's start on my far left and Catalina. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, bonjour. My name is Carolina. I'm a grade 12 student at Cardinal Carter Catholic High School. I'm enrolled in the IB program, and I'm representing the bilingual side of this panel as I'm talking in both English and French.
Thank you very much, Catalina. Darcy, you're up next. Tell us all about yourself.
Hi, my name's Darcy. I'm in grade 8 at GDCI. This is my first year of the chat, and GDCI is in the AMDSB school board.
Wonderful. Great having you this year, Darcy. You're always awesome. We have a face from the past. Logan's come and join us.
Hello, everybody. My name's Logan, and I'm a student, grade 12 student at Geraldton Compson High School, way up north. And I'm the student trustee for the Superior Greenstone District School Board. And I was on this chat before, so I'm happy to be back again. Thank you.
It's great having you. Lee, our founder and leader. Say hi, Lee.
Hello, co-leader behind all of this talent here. My name's Lee Castle. I'm currently on leave from the Avon-Maitland District School Board, working as an education and innovation consultant, and I'm on a full-time contract with Spark as the manager of innovation and learning. And I'm so happy to be here with all you fine folks, and I'm excited to talk about our New Year's EDU resolutions.
Awesome. And last but not least, Sam. Say hi to folks.
Hi, I'm Sam. I've been with this chat since the beginning. I go to North Perth Westfield Elementary School. Yes, it's a mouthful. And I'm in grade 8.
Thanks a lot, Sam. Now everybody home, Catalina's going to go through some of the norms, some of the usual stuff you can expect over the next half hour or so. So Catalina, take it away.
Okay, so the norms for this chat are 20 minutes to discuss one or more questions. Please be mindful that this chat is open to students in K to grade 12. Active participation from classes who are watching. All comments made during the chat should be positive and productive and appropriate to our audience. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. You may not agree with something someone has said, but we ask that when challenging an idea that you respectfully disagree with the idea, not the individual person.
Wonderful. So without further ado, let's get to the questions. Darcy's going to be the one who's introducing them today. So Darcy, what's our first question?
The first question is, what are your EDU resolutions?
Okay. So EDU, we're talking about education resolutions. Panel, what's some of your resolutions for education?
If I may start us off here. My own resolution for education is not leaving things to the last minute. I'm sure a lot of students out there, and even some adults, I'm sure, can relate to, putting things off and not really doing them. But I'm trying to work on if the due date's Friday, I'm not handing it in at 3:15 on Friday, right? I'm going to hand it in beforehand, just then it's all nice and taken care of. So yeah, that's my resolution for this year.
I think a lot of us share that resolution, Logan. Thank you. Catalina.
Yeah, I guess I would definitely have to agree on that because I'm also in grade 12 and I know how due dates become really important, and especially with university is coming up and all these due dates, applications, scholarships. I guess time management would be a big thing for me, and I think that's something I really, really need to work on in order to succeed and complete this year successfully, I guess, and get to that graduation point and actually get my diploma. Alors, je pense que c'est très important d'être très attentif avec notre temps et de prendre des décisions qui vont nous aider à être efficaces avec nos devoirs.
Thank you very much, Catalina. Yeah, these are great. You got Sam?
One of mine is, getting things on time, and also if I have free time, don't use it just watching YouTube or something. Go and finish schoolwork and try to get it ahead of time, and don't leave things to the last minute.
Very good. Darcy, anything different to add? Oh, maybe Darcy's frozen. That's okay. Lee, do you have anything from Twitter or yourself? Do you have any education resolutions this year?
I've been thinking a lot about this one. I don't do last minute, so that is not one of my resolutions. I think one of my resolutions needs to be learning how to say no when things come my way, because there are so many incredible ideas out there and so many talented teachers and students doing amazing things. It's just so hard to say no when someone has a great idea. So I need to work a little harder at maybe saying no, but finding ways to leverage my network and provide them with someone else that could say yes instead of always saying yes myself. So that would be my resolution.
You stole mine. Thank you. Darcy, are you still there? Can you hear us? Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Okay, that's good. We got some no more procrastinating, try to get stuff in on time, how to say no. These are great resolutions. I'm wondering, this is Darcy, you back? Nope. I'm wondering, for question number 2, how can you motivate yourself and others to follow through with your resolutions? It's one thing to have these great resolutions. How do we follow through, though? I mean, over the years, I'm a really good procrastinator, and I've always said I'm not going to procrastinate anymore. But I'm wondering how do we accomplish them? Any ideas? Catalina.
I could definitely relate to what you said because I am a great procrastinator, and I guess one of the reasons why it keeps being an issue is because I still get things done and I still get the marks or the results I want to, even through procrastinating, which I guess makes me want to do it again, because if it worked once and it worked pretty well, that means I can try it again and it's still going to work. So I guess it's not the incentive of not procrastinating because it's not such a big issue, but I guess maybe prioritizing things and spending time on things that actually count first might be a way to accomplish those New Year's resolutions, instead of just putting it all out there and making a big list and not knowing what's your top and what's your bottom priority. So I guess prioritizing would be something that will help me personally get rid of my procrastination, instead of just trying to get everything done. I guess get everything you need in the first place first, and then everything else could follow. Alors je pense que c'est très important de prioriser notre idée en premier, et on doit savoir qu'est-ce qu'on doit faire en premier, ce qui est plus important, et après ça on peut faire les choses qui sont un peu pas assez importantes. Merci.
Yeah, no, prioritizing, I like that. It's motivating if you get the most important stuff done first. That makes sense. Sam, Logan, do you have any tips? How can we get more motivated?
The way I motivate myself is you gotta write, like with everything in the world, right? Resolutions are the same thing, where you're not going to wake up one morning and be the perfect person. You're not going to wake up and have all your resolutions fulfilled and be this better person. You got to work towards it, right? One step at a time. So what I like to do is every time I take one of those small steps towards my end goal of, being a better person or whatever my resolution is, I always reward myself with something that I really enjoy, right? Sort of like, you do, let's say, instead of watching Netflix or something, right? First, before doing your homework, do your homework first and then watch Netflix afterwards, right? As the reward. So you get all that stuff out of the way and you don't need to worry about it, right?
Yeah, everybody likes rewards. I'm much more motivated when I get candy. So yeah. Sam, Darcy, you got any? We're on question number 2, Darcy. Tips for motivating ourselves to accomplish our education resolutions.
Sure, I'll go next. I just lost connection for a second, so I had to find a new spot. But question number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think motivation is definitely like a really big part in resolutions, because if you aren't motivated, then you won't want to do it. So I think that to keep motivation high, I would make a video of you at the beginning of your resolution, telling yourself why and what you hope the future holds. And if you feel unmotivated along the way, I would watch it, because it will remind you of why you wanted to do it from the beginning, and I think it will give you like an extra boost of motivation.
That's brilliant. I definitely can see myself making a video where I'm yelling at myself, to my future self, that stop being lazy and live up to it. I love that. That's awesome. Sam, you got anything?
Yeah, it's similar to Darcy's, but make yourself reminders. Make reminders. I don't know, like put it on your calendar and make it pop up on your phone every 2 days. Remind yourself about your resolution so you're more likely not to do it.
Oh, it's excellent. Lee, anything from Twitter yourself? How do you motivate yourself to keep resolutions and keep on track?
I'm still like, my mind is blown. I love that suggestion of creating a video when you make your resolution and you're super motivated to do it, and then watching it, 2 or 3 weeks later, or Catalina, as we were discussing, maybe at the start of February, just to find that that inspiration and that motivation again. I think that's a really interesting. I think it's a really interesting idea. Kylie Sutton's class has been sharing some ideas about that. In addition to reminding yourself daily, it's important to look at who else can help you. So one of the tweets here was, Morgan will remind herself daily. Chase's friends and teacher can help remind him. We can tell our family our resolutions to keep ourselves accountable. So I think who you bring on board when you set those resolutions can also be a huge motivator.
Yeah, that's awesome. From one of our earlier chats, we were talking about motivation and the importance of telling somebody and reminding yourself and doing it daily is so important for building new habits. And in this case, your resolutions are, fulfillment of new habits that you want to have. So I think these are awesome. And I was just thinking with Darcy, a video is great. I think I'm going to make myself an infographic or a poster. You know how you have those motivational cat posters? I'm going to put myself in some sort of cat thing and tell myself to do things daily, which is awesome. Catalina, let's go on to question 3. Or sorry, Catalina, do you have more?
Just like a closing thought on what Sam and Darcy said. I guess just popped in my mind, one of the ways I fight with my procrastination and trying to get things done is I have an agenda, so I'd make myself a list for the day, and I would highlight each thing off once it's accomplished. So at the end of the day, I could look as how much I highlighted, and if it's not enough, I feel bad that I didn't do everything I planned to do. So then the next day, I would try and accomplish more. So like I play with my own guilt because I know that's something that bothers me. And then when everything is highlighted, it gives you this reward of accomplishing everything you wanted to. So it's a pretty nice feeling too.
Awesome, yeah. Checking things off, it makes you feel good, like you did something. Okay, we're making good time and things are going well. Darcy, let's go on to question 3.
Sure. So question 3 is, what are some tips for setting resolutions/goals?
Yeah. So everybody shared some of their resolutions for education in the coming year. Can you give some insight on like how did you go about making those goals? Like, how did you focus in? What was the key?
Well, I think the first thing is if your teacher or your mom is constantly telling you to do something, that should automatically be a goal to do that thing. Just saying.
Sam, every student should listen to you. This is very good advice.
Yes,
so,
from all the mamas out there, we're like sending you high fives.
Yeah. So if you're hearing from lots of people that you sort of respect that this is a goal, that makes a lot of sense. Anybody else?
I guess the thing for me, I once tried doing my work on time and not procrastinating and doing it ahead of time. And I just saw all the benefits this brought and the free time I got and less stress I experienced. So that was a pretty good feeling. So I guess just having this example and experiencing it makes me think that next time when I'm going to do something, there's two ways I can go about it. There's one way in which I'm going to still get it done, but I'm going to be more stressed and kind of cramming everything last minute. And there's this other amazing way that makes me feel so good about myself. So I guess just knowing what you can do better and experiencing it makes you want to do it again. Alors, je pense si une fois tu fais les choses que tu as voulu faire et tu le fais dans un temps qui n'est pas la dernière minute, alors la prochaine fois quand tu fais ça, tu penses que ça va être mieux et ça va t'aider plus. So I think that's...
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Logan, next.
Oh.
Yeah, Darcy.
Oh,
Darcy
sorry.
here.
Okay. So one idea would be like to set miniature goals and then make them flexible to you. So a lot of people would set goals, but it wouldn't actually work to you. So like if you want to get a better grade in math by 10%, some people would say, oh, the first step would be to talk to the teacher to get feedback. And the next step would be to get tutoring right away. But if you use that feedback effectively and you're successful with it, you don't need tutoring for exactly what you're working on. So I think it's important to make sure that the New Year's resolution is flexible to you and is about how you're growing off of it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
Yeah, it has to adjust as life comes up. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, Logan, what do you got?
Okay, my thinking was that self-reflection is really key at this point. You got to sit down and you got to ask yourself, what do I not like about myself, or what always gets in my way, or what holds me back, right? And then from there you can make your resolutions. It allows you to think and to see and to know yourself and work from there. Like you can't fight a battle if you don't know who or what your enemy is. Knowing is half the battle, and if you can think about that, know it, then you can fulfill your resolutions. So yeah,
and set good ones, right? Yeah. Lee, what are you getting from the Twitter sphere? Oh, got some more stuff.
Yep, sorry. I'm in between different
oh, yeah, no problem.
windows here. I had to get back into to the Hangout, into Twitter. Kylie Sutton's class has shared a few other great ideas. One of the answers was from Tristan. Tristan says not to get distracted and to set goals that others think are good. Rachel says not to give up if you don't succeed right away. And they both ended with the idea that setting realistic goals are very important. So I think that's a really important point. It's very easy to set a goal, but is it something that you can achieve? Is it realistic? And that comes back to what Darcy was saying about setting those smaller goals so you feel that success and that achievement along the way.
Yeah, no, I really like that. I was listening to a podcast by Tim Ferriss. He's pretty famous. You can go check out his stuff. He interviews lots of really cool people. And he mentioned something that has stuck with me sort of just sitting there for the past week. He said, when you're sort of creating a goal, think of what would be easy, what would be the best possible kind of resolution, and what would be easiest path to get there, and go towards that. Go towards. I mean, Logan, what you were saying about knowing yourself and knowing who your enemy is, I totally get it. You have to have an honesty about yourself. But also, what's the easiest way to get me to stop procrastinating? In my case, if it was somebody telling me, well, if you go do this right now, I'm going to give you a chocolate bar. That's the easiest thing for me. I'm going to make that happen, right? Like, know yourself well enough to find the easiest path. It'll make it easier not to give up. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that, but it just keeps sticking in my mind this week. How do I make my life easier? But anyways.
Well, kind of what you guys were saying earlier about how like knowing like what you need to work on is half the battle. I think that's definitely true, because it's very hard for people to set resolutions, because we all love to practice what we were good at and we love to show off with it and get better at what we're good at, but we should be working on the things we aren't good at. And I think it's good to identify our gaps, work on them, and challenge yourselves with things that you're not good at, or else you're not going to grow and become a better person. So I think that is hard for people, but I think it pays off if you learn how to do it right.
Agreed. Yeah, no, getting better. Anybody else? Okay, we got good time. Darcy, what about question 4?
Sure. Question 4 is, why is it important to set goals/resolutions in EDU?
Yeah. What do we think? Education goals, how are they different from life goals? Are they the same, or how are they connected? Why is it important?
I think they're definitely connected, because it's impossible to have a good education flow and routine and then be completely terrible in your kind of life goals. So I definitely see how you can use the skills you have in education and apply them to like your day-to-day life. So that's why I think it's very important to get those work habits and education habits in first, and then they might help you in very surprising ways. Just it's a matter of perseverance, first of all, in everything you do, and as it was mentioned before, self-reflection and reflecting on what you're doing right, what you're not doing right, what needs to improve, even though that means acknowledging your own mistakes. I think that's something people have trouble with sometimes, acknowledging what was wrong, what I need to work on, because as Darcy mentioned, we obviously prefer to show off our strengths, not our weaknesses. And sometimes we find it hard to acknowledge that we have a problem that needs to, that we need to work on. Alors, je pense que c'est très important de penser à nous-mêmes et de réaliser qu'on doit avoir de persévérance pour avoir des résultats bons à l'école, et après ça peut nous aider dans notre vie quotidienne aussi.
Thanks, Catalina. How about anybody else?
You go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I gave you the last one. So what I was thinking for the question, why is it important? It's important to set goals because it kind of gives you a reason to get out of bed every morning. It gives you a reason to keep on going through life. If you can have your goals and you can work towards them, and when you finally achieve those goals, you can look back and say, wow, all that hardship that I went through, it was all worth it. Because you can have nothing in life, but you can always have your goals that keep you pushing forward. So that's why I think it's very important, especially in education. It gives you that end goal, that this is where I want to be in my life, and this is where I'm going to be in my life, and it gives you that motivation. So yeah.
Awesome. Darcy.
I have like 3 main ideas. So I think it's important to set goals because you become a better person and you grow. You feel successful and productive, and you have fun, and you go on a journey that ultimately teaches you about like who you are as a person and what kind of learner you are, especially like if you learn better hands-on, visually, stuff like that, and you just grow in a lot of different ways that you didn't expect really out of the goal. So
yeah, education goals really do help make that journey more fun and more exciting. Sure. Sam, do you got anything?
Yeah, if you don't set goals, you're not going where you want to go necessarily, right? If you kind of just have like bits and pieces of a goal, it's kind of close, but then you can veer off track. If you have a few straightforward goals that guide you, you're more likely to end up where you want to be.
Yeah, no, makes sense. You need to You need somewhere to aim to if you're going to get there. It's hard to go around in the ocean and find that island full of treasure just by happenstance. You know, it's much better to have a map. Lee, would we have anything from Twitter or yourself?
Yes, we do. On Twitter, again, from Kylie Sutton's class has been active today, so thank you for that. Morgan would agree with a lot of the things that are being shared, that goals are important because they help you improve. And Mihaela says that if you don't set goals, how will you improve in the future? And I think that really echoes what everyone has been saying here today, that you know, not having that sense of direction or sense of purpose makes it very difficult for you to achieve success or grow as a person or in education.
Awesome. We have a little bit of time. I have a quick question that I think will be helpful. I'm wondering from the panel, have they set education resolutions before? If so, what were they? Or if you didn't really think about resolutions, what kind of goals did you set in the past that maybe you achieved or didn't quite achieve, and what did you learn from it? Anybody? I know I've sort of spring this on you, but as I'm listening to everybody, I love finding more about you guys, and I'm always amazed at how passionate and how energized you are. And I figured you always set goals already, so I'm wondering, could you share those with the world? What have you done in the past? Yeah, Catalina.
Yeah, so I guess as I mentioned before, I'm in IB program, and how this works, French is one of my standard level courses, and actually I completed grade 11 and grade 12 French being in grade 11, and since it's something I'm really, really passionate about and something that interests me a lot, I set my goal that out of 7 possible points I could get in French, I wanted to get a 7.
Wow.
Is usually about 3% of the world population gets. So in terms of me being in the school, the chances weren't that high, but I'm a really stubborn person, so I really tried to achieve that 7. So I did a ton of practice exams. I was talking to my teacher about what can I do to improve. I kept focusing on my weaknesses in French. So for example, I'm really good at writing, but sometimes when I'm speaking, I tend to go off topic. So I started with her and I just kept going over different topics and reviewing them. I also kept choosing, I guess, more challenging topics instead of something really straightforward. And in the end, I was predicted a 7. I was predicted a 97. But when I got my results back, I found out that I was the only person to achieve a perfect score. So I ended up getting 100 in the course. So that was my goal for last year, and I achieved it just by working really hard and focusing more on my weaknesses, and I guess almost underestimating myself by pushing myself to those limits I didn't know I really had.
Congratulations, that's amazing. I knew we'd have a story like that. That's awesome. Anybody else? Anybody else have some goals that they set? And Logan?
I kind of have, I have a similar goal to that, right? But my goal was always a 90 in every class, right? But instead of succeeding and getting perfect, right? Like the other story, I learned how to deal with failure. That's definitely a definite thing that I'm a perfectionist, right? Like everything has to be perfect for me. Everything has to go exactly how I want it to go, but that's not how life works, right? So I learned how to deal with that. Always, right? Through my goals, I learned how to deal with that, and I'm a better person for it. So, yeah.
Thank you. That's a really good lesson, Logan, because I mean, setting resolutions and making them are hard, and failure sometimes hurts. So how do we deal with it, and how do we move on? That's awesome, that perseverance piece. Yeah, Sam.
Sorry. I feel like I should make Logan's resolution from last year my resolution from this year, because again, I would set those goals, and when I don't achieve them, I tend to get really upset. So I think learning how to deal with failure might be my resolution for this year. So let's change.
Awesome.
Well, I don't know if I ever actually have a resolution that I actually like write down and plan out all the time. But usually like at the very beginning of the year, or like the very beginning of like the second semester, I usually think in my head like, I'll pick 3 classes, and then what do I want out of these classes, and then how am I going to make it happen? And then when I get a project in that class, I say, what am I going to do to be successful in this project? And I think about like time management and stuff like that. And then I just put best forth my best effort on it. And I tend to get good results, but if I don't, like Logan said, it's like really teaching you about failure. And I'm also a perfectionist too. So I feel like it's also good to learn how to deal with failure because it's a big part of life. So I think goals haven't just helped me just education, but like also through like me as a person and like life and getting to know myself better too.
Thanks for sharing, Darcy. Sam.
Yeah, I think on the topic of perfectionist, I think I need to be more of a perfectionist because I'm more of the person who kind of like, yeah, it's done, that I'm done with this, right? But I have a lot of free time on my hands that I could make things better, but I don't do that. So that's kind of another thing. Like sometimes you have to make yourself not be as much of something, but more of something else.
Okay. Lee, do you have anything from Twitter or yourself? No? Okay. Well, it's been a wonderful chat. I'll share my. Oh, Logan's got another one.
I have one more thing. I want to talk about. Sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just want to share this. I always live by the motto, leave it better than you found it. And I can't say I can't say that I coined that myself. Like, go Pete's go, right? For the teacher out there, if she ever sees this video, I'm sure she'll understand that. But and just leave it better than you found it. That's always been my resolution, right? For a very long time now. And it's every moment that I live. If I see something that is not as good, or I feel like it could be better, I always do it. I go out and do it. Like even in my own school, like we're doing a lot of different activities, different ways to build school spirit, because I never had that in my grade 9, 10, or 11 year, right? I'm trying to move on from my school and move on from my community, really leaving it better than what it was before. I feel like that's a pretty good resolution for really everybody. If we're all working towards perfection, then maybe one day we'll reach it.
Logan, that's not a bad way to end. I mean, if we're all going to share in a resolution in education and life, I think leaving things better than when we found it is a great thing to end on. So we've run out of time today. I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us for ONED Student Chat, Tweet and Talk. We're going to have a slow chat coming for the rest of the month. So continue to participate and getting more students involved, get everybody you can. Check us out on our website. It's ONedSsChat.com or ONedSsChat.com. At Twitter, at ONedStudentChat. And watch for details. You can check our Twitter feed. We're trying to find a topic for next month, so please join us. It will be February the 12th at 10 a.m. And I want to thank everyone again for joining us. Keep sharing your resolutions. If you need somebody to check in on you to make sure that you're doing it well, we can probably provide that. We can give you a shout out once a week and say, hey, how's that resolution going? So happy to have everybody. See you next month. Cheers.